Hey guys, what is up? Figured I'd do my weekly update, or at least I'm trying to make it weekly. I've had a few weeks off and whatnot. I was good last week, so I'm going to try again this week. So basically, what's been going on? School is still school. I got midterms tomorrow already. Spring break in 2 weeks, which isn't so bad. Um, but yeah, not going to spring break in Miami, of course. I'm not a party guy, nor do I care for that kind of thing. Um, don't know why I said that. And my girlfriend's texting me. Okay, so she's been asking me about Titanfall because I've been beta testing that for the weekend, just because I've had the time between work. I have work stories later. But yeah, she doesn't get a lot of what's going on, so I need to look into the beta terms and conditions because I'm not entirely sure if I can record stuff and upload it to YouTube. Like, I know people have been streaming it on Twitch. Um, So maybe I'll make a separate video so that way this one doesn't get flagged or anything, or monetized, because that feels weird if my videos are monetized. Same thing happened with Batman, and okay, a few of those I was fine with, but seriously? Um, Especially considering I don't monetize my own videos. I was given the opportunity at one point, but I was like, why would I? So yeah, there's a lot of things with Titanfall that like people have had complaints about, so I just wanted to randomly talk about them. But I'll probably save that for a separate video. Mostly just for my girlfriend, so that way she gets the game. If you haven't seen the trailer for Titanfall, go and look it up. Like, it's pretty amazing. I've been having fun with it, and I think the beta ends like at 6 p.m. today or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Let me see. I need to open up Origin. Okay, there we go. That's coming up where it should be. Okay, to my games. Yeah, yeah, I still have beta access, so I can keep playing for a few more hours until they finally end the beta. Um, oh, that's right. There's engineering week today, so I gotta go to that. So I'll probably do my. I don't even know. Uh, so many things to do and so little time. Uh, what else was I gonna say? So yeah, midterm tomorrow. So yeah, work stories for the weekend. So this weekend, or the previous weekend, was Valentine's Day, so I was dreading it horribly. So around Thursday, I got the text saying where my boss wanted me to go work, and he wanted me to work at a small Italian restaurant, which I was perfectly fine with. He could have sent me downtown, and I would have been running from like 5 to midnight, or even 2 in the morning, and I could have been running nonstop. Small Italian place, that's doable. It's like you have the initial rush, you have like a second rush, and then you possibly have a third rush. And then between that, you're just organizing, making sure that things are fine. So about like 3 hours before I was supposed to go to work, he calls me and he's like, "Oh, it go to the theater instead because you're going to be needed there and it's going to be better." So I was like, okay, not a problem. So I go to the theater, and I understand why he sent me there because we have a new guy there. It's his first day on the job. So, like, a lot of the things that I take for granted in, like, how cars work and stuff, like, he's never seen before. Like, there's some pretty funky uh, shift selectors or whatever the hell those things are called. Um, like, I know in the Mercedes Benz, you have a thing that you tilts down to drive, tilts up to make it go in reverse, and then push a button to make it park. Some BMWs have something similar. And then you have like a little knob that you twist for some of the Jaguars. And then like there was a Lincoln where it's like you just have the park, reverse, neutral, drive as like buttons on the dashboard. Like there's some weird things, and he hasn't seen any of that, so he didn't know what a lot of stuff. Like he got into a Benz and then he's like, I can't drive this, and he jumps out. I'm like, what is it? And then I look inside and I'm like, it's not manual, and I'm pretty sure he knew how to drive manual. And I'm like, oh shoot, he doesn't know where the shifter is. Um, so yeah, they really needed me because it wasn't their busiest night, but it was still busy enough that you need two people that know what they're doing at least. Um, so and it was like, yeah, like I said, it was his first day, so he didn't really know. Um, so we finished the rush there, and then my supervisor, he gets a call from the guy at the Italian place, and he's like, dude, send me the guy, send me the guy that was supposed to be here. And then he was like, okay, fine, I'll send him, but I need him back for when the rush, for when people leave the theater. And so he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I go over to the Italian place, and it's just a mess. There are cars everywhere, people that need to have their cars parked, people that are trying to get their cars, and the guy's just running around. So I get there and I'm like, what what's going on? What do you need me to do? And he's like, get these cars out of the way. So I'm just like trying to move cars where cars can't be moved, and then so as so we have a lot nearby. So I was like, okay, rather than just having them in the way here, I'm just gonna start putting cars into that lot. So I get like one car over there, and he's like, no, no, move the cars, move the cars. I'm like, dude, calm the fuck down. And so I keep trying to do what I'm doing, like managing pickups, and then most of the people that need their cars picked up, the keys for them aren't in the booth. So I'm just like, dude, where the fuck are the keys for this? Like he had, like it was so messed up. Like there were cars without keys, there were tickets without keys, there were keys without tickets. It was just a mess, and like a lot of the cars he didn't label where they were put, so I was just running around trying to find stuff. It was arguably the worst mess ever. Like we didn't finish or like fixing everything until like 9:30 that night, which was when I had to go back to the theater. So it's like normally at the theater it's like we organize the car and I can sit around for an hour. It's like I go from running around to running around, and then I'm like, okay, I got to go back to run around some more. And he's like, no, screw that, I need you here. And then I was like, dude, you can handle this by yourself. It's just parked cars, and there's not that many of them. He's like, no, I'm keeping you here. And like he writes down my name on the time sheet, um, and then he gets a call, or he calls the guy saying, he's like, yeah, sorry, I'm keeping this guy. So like 5 minutes later, he gets a call from like the boss, and he's like, dude, no. So I ended up getting sent back, which I didn't mind. Um, so it's like we finished the rush there, and then my supervisor, my supervisor that I've been working with the past couple days, he's only 21, so he's not that much older than me, which is rather interesting. Because he looks a lot older. Like well, no, he looks young, but I didn't think he was that young. But yeah, so he's like, oh, I need you to head back to the Italian place and hurry. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I get there, and he's like, dude, do you have any keys in your pocket? I'm like, no, I never put keys in my pocket. That's like rule one when you work valet. You don't put keys in your pocket. And it turns out he was missing the keys for two different cars, like a really nice Jaguar and like a random Mercedes Benz. It was a nice Benz, but still. So he's missing two keys, and he's just like, like, dude, where are the keys? I'm like, I'd never touched those cars, and except for the Benz. I did drive the Benz, but I gave that key to him. And my nose is stuffy. Um, so the Jaguar owners, like, he has to drive them home. And then my supervisor from the theater comes over, and he's just like, okay, which cars are the ones missing keys? I'm like, that Benz and the Jaguar. So he looks around the Jaguar, and he finds the key sitting on the tire. So we call the guy, and he's like, because he took them home so that way they can get a spare key. Um, but yeah, we call him, and we're just like, dude, the key's right with the car. And then we look in the booth, the the key for the Benz is right in the booth. It was just put in the wrong spot. And we're just like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you're so, like, he is so unorganized. Granted, I had to work at the Italian place the next day, and it went better because I was there, so he had an easier job handling the rush. But he's so unorganized still. Like, oh gosh, I hated. like I've worked that Italian place before and I enjoy it, but that guy he makes it like he makes things unnecessarily complicated. And then like when we were done with all the rushes and like we were organizing cars, like all the cars that were in the far lot, we were moving them closer into empty spots that we had. And then he was like, "Hey, do you like you don't or do you work Sundays?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm available Sundays. I don't normally work Sundays." And he's like, "Would you do you mind working here by yourself? It's like it'd be a good way for you to, start making more money. Move up to $10 an hour, like manage a booth and whatnot." I'm like, "Dude, fuck no. I'm not doing that. Are you crazy? I I don't mind running, but it's like managing a booth on top of that, just no." Like I understand that the Italian place is supposed to be like a one person job, but still, not for me. Like that, and I'm not like the world's fastest car parker slash runner, I guess. I'm not the world's fastest valet. So, yeah, just no. Whole lot of nope. Then next day, like I'm at a totally different place. Didn't get paid for that place because, like, yeah, it was really bad with the tips. Um, so yeah, we were just like swapping stories about our first days working and that sort of thing. And it was rather interesting. I, I just hit my desk. Um, like I parked a grand total of like 3 cars. There were like 9 cars total, but we had another guy with us. And then, like when we had the ninth car parked, he had to go somewhere else, which he hated because he was hoping for an easy day, and he had to go to somewhere else to work by himself. Um, and it was downtown too, which is worse. Um, so yeah, it's it's been a crazy weekend for me. Um, but yeah, probably gonna make more videos later. Not sure. Like I gotta, if I'm gonna go to the engineering week thing, I have to take a shower now. So I'll see what's going on. Talk to you guys later.